Over the past 2 years, I've scaled 3 of my own agencies past 6 figures and helped 600 plus beginners start and scale their own agencies. Today, I'm going to share with you exactly what I would do if I were to restart an agency from scratch today in 2024. And just show you the proof that I actually did this. Here's agency number 1, agency number 2, agency number 3, and then a lot of screenshots of the people that I helped start and scale their agencies. I think you get the point. Hopefully you trust me now to stick enough to the end so you can hear what I have to say. Let's dive in. Step by step, here's exactly what I do if I were to restart today without knowing anything. Here's exactly what I would do and what I tell everybody. Number 1 is you have to find, and by the way, if you want this checklist, okay, and every other checklist, SOP, Miro board, you name it that I've ever made in my entire life, click the link down below. You can join my free school community where if you want to, you can join my inner circle that's paid, but if you want to just pay nothing and have free stuff for life forever, in the course section you can get this and everything else I've ever posted in my life for free. Anyways, let's dive back into the video. So the first thing I would do is I would find a market to help, or a problem to solve, or a skill I already have. Now, why did I mention these 3 things? Well, because a lot of people get hung up on like, well, where do I start? And so I want to make this very simple. And so what I would do is I either pick a market of people I want to help. So maybe that's real estate agents, maybe that's HVAC companies, maybe that's coaches, maybe that's e-com brands. It doesn't matter. Maybe I want to pick a market, okay? Or the best way to do this realistically is to find a problem. What's a problem people are having? Okay, because then you know that if you solve a problem people have, people will pay, because people pay to get the problem solved. Okay, so I find a problem or a skill you already have. Okay, so for example, maybe you're really good at copywriting, maybe you're really good at media buying, maybe you're really good at editing, maybe you're really good at building funnels, maybe you're really good at selling, right? Maybe you have a skill that you're going to sell. So the purpose is we got to find something to sell, okay, or somebody to help. Now, the second thing I would do is, once I've picked market, problem, or skill, I would either find a problem in the market if you pick market, or find a market for the problem. So depending on which one you picked will dictate what you do for the second step, but the point is you just have to find somebody to now sell your thing for, or you have to find a problem to help the people solve, okay? Number 3 is once I've found out who I'm going to help and what I'm going to help them do, I'm then going to find out potential solutions that I could do, right? So for example, if you found out that, hey, you're going to help realtors and you're going to help them, make better ads, what are you going to do? Right? So what are you actually going to do to help them make better ads? Okay. Now, once I figured out number 3 to have a potential solution for the problem that I help people solve, I'm going to create an MVO, which just stands for minimal viable offer. Okay. And this is essentially just us creating the simplistic, most basic offer we could make to take to the market so we can start getting clients. Because the last thing we want to do is start sitting around waiting. Right? We want to test to make sure that our idea, our offer is proven enough to take it to the market and actually put a lot of energy and effort into it, right? I was studying startups, okay? And one of the CEO of Y Combinator, one of the co-founders of Twitch, Michael Siebel, I believe his name is, Siebel, whatever the case, you can look him up. One of his philosophy for framework for starting new startups is get initial customers. Now granted, there's 2 steps before that, which is like MVO, have a minimal viable product, and then get initial customers and then get feedback. But the point is, he wants to optimize for getting customers and getting feedback so he knows if his product has market fit, right? Product market fit, we hear this all the time. Seeing if the idea, the concept that we have actually will resonate in the market, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do with the MVO, is figure out, hey, does this idea I have, does it have grounding? Does it actually hold up in reality, or is it only good in my mind? Okay, because the last thing you want to do is spend months like I did on building something that people don't actually want. Okay, that's what entrepreneurs do all the time, is they build stuff that people don't actually want, and that's not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is solving problems that people will actually pay to get solved, and so to make sure that we're actually solving problems that people will pay for. Cool? You're still with me? Awesome. Let's dive into the next one. After I've got this MVO, I've got an idea. You don't have to have it all figured out. Okay, action brings clarity. Okay, so you're not going to have it all figured out. Mark Zuckerberg didn't start Facebook knowing exactly that it was going to connect billions of users. He just liked coding and wanted to make a software that people could connect with each other on Harvard. That's it. And then action brings clarity. You get the point. So after this, we're going to call 500 niche specific prospects to validate my idea. Now, the reason why I said in quotations, if innovated, if you already have an offer or an idea that's proven by other people that have already been doing it, you don't have to validate the idea because it's already been proven. Okay. So if you're going to go run ads, people are already running ads, it's proven. You don't have to validate the idea. But if you're innovating a new solution, maybe you're making like an AI voice bot, you want to call to make sure that your offer or your idea is validated by the market so you know that it will actually work when you go to scale and build it out. Okay. Cool. After this, you're going to decide on outreach channel. Now, the golden rule of thumb of like how deciding like how do you find where to reach out to your people is you want to find a place where your people are active. Okay, so like a place where you can reach them, right? For example, it would be useless going to cold door knock e-commerce brands because they're online. I know it's an outrageous example, but that's the point, right? It's like you want to make sure you find people where they actually are. For example, realtors are always on their phone, right? So cold calling them or even DMing them is a pretty good option. Other people are more prone to being on Facebook. Other people are more prone to being on email. You get the point. Now, granted, almost all of them will always work. It's just some are better than the others, and you can kind of dictate and do what you want. If I were you, I'd recommend cold calling because statistically, it's the easiest one to get your first couple clients in any single niche, and you learn a lot of really good skills in the process. Now, I want to have a quick pause because I'm going pretty quick. Some of you may be like, whoa, Stefan, why don't I know what my service is? Why don't I have service delivery built out? And that's because we want to sell before we build. The last thing you want to do is build a product and or service and then go present it to people and have everybody say no because they don't like it and or you can't even sell it, right? There's no point in making the cure to cancer if you can't give the cure to cancer to anybody. So sell the idea of having the cure to cancer, and then when people say yes, then go make it. And oh my God, what if you can't make it? Then just tell them you can't, which won't really happen because you can easily fulfill. But the point is, you want to sell before we build. Otherwise, you waste a bunch of your time focusing on things that don't matter. If I asked you right now, why do you want to start an agency? Why do you want to make money online? You probably say, well, I want to make money so I can have freedom, etc., right? Cool. How does your company make more money? Well, your company doesn't make money by you watching YouTube videos. Your company doesn't make more money by you puttering around, tweaking your service delivery in the beginning, okay? You make more money by you getting more clients. And so therefore, we should optimize our entire day for getting more clients, which is exactly my philosophy that I've used to scale 3 of my own agencies and 600 plus others. Is I don't want to mess around. I want to just get clients and get feedback because that's how you make money. Alrighty, let's keep going. So once you've decided on every channel, you need to scrape some leads. Okay, because the last thing you want to do is go to start calling people and then have no one to call, or you call 50 people and you're out of leads already. So you want to scrape at least 3,000 leads so you can get through the first week without having any bottlenecks or having to wait. Okay, that's the biggest reason why we want to scrape leads ahead of time. Then you're going to set up a Calendly account for free. You don't need to go high level. You don't need all these crazy softwares. You just need to start booking appointments. As a matter of fact, if I go pull this up, look at this. All these appointments that you see here, all these appointments were booked with no follow-up sequence. Now, granted, our show rate wasn't the best, but we still signed a couple clients, okay, from just like booking appointments on Calendly. So it works, alrighty? Now, after you set up your Calendly account, it's time to start talking to people, okay? You want to start contacting as many prospects as you can per day. Now, as you can see here, there's no definitive amount of people you want to contact, all right? If I asked you, hey, do you, like, if you want to become better at running, would you just run once per week? Well, no, you probably run as much as your body could possibly handle up until you get diminishing returns on your training, right? And so it's the same with getting clients. It's like, we're not just going to stop at $100, but yep, I did $100, I'm done for the day. Like, here's the thing. I want you to realize this. Most of you want money. And so like, you shouldn't stop working until you've made the money, until you've hit your goal. And even then you probably will keep going because business is a game, right? And so it's like, don't define yourself like, oh, I'm going to do 100 DMs. So I'm going to do 200 cold calls and I'll be done for the day. It's like, no. You should be done when you're finished, right? Like as Kobe said, they asked him like, are you happy you're up 3-0? No, job's not finished, right? Job's not finished. You haven't made the money yet. Why are you resting? Why are you chilling? Why are you stopping? Right? Like, so like, there's no definitive quantity that you need to do because you need to do as many as you need to do until you get to where you want to go. It's as simple as that, right? If you're 500 pounds and you want to be 300 pounds, the only reason why you're not 300 pounds is because you haven't put in the work to be 300 pounds. That's it. So if you're making 0K a month and you want to make 10K a month, the only reason why you're not making 10K a month is because you haven't put in the work to make 10K a month. It's that simple. Okay? So start contact as many prospects as you possibly can. People heavily underestimate the amount of work that goes into making money online. They think it just becomes easy because of people that make YouTube videos like myself. And if I've made it seem that way, then I apologize because it's not fucking easy. It's simple, not easy. Alrighty, let's keep going. After I start contacting as many prospects as I can, like I'll do what it takes, okay? I'm gonna start booking my first initial meetings and learning about the market. Okay, so let's say you do 500 cold calls a day with a 2% average booking rate. That's 10 appointments per day, which sucks. Let's say 50% show, and anyone can close at 25% free trials, okay? And let's say you work 5 days a week. That would be 6 new clients weekly. If you could just do 500 cold calls a day and have these super shitty metrics, which anybody can do, and I recommend you do more than 500 cold calls a day to just guarantee that you can close at least 6 new clients a week. That would mean the first week you could have 6 new clients if you just put in more work than anybody else. Alrighty? Cool. Now, if for some reason you can't get these metrics for cold calling, you probably suck. So go join my paid Inner Circle community and ask me for advice. Did I pitch you good enough? Cool. Anyways, after this, You're going to start tweaking your messaging based on feedback. Let's say you call 500 people and they all say, hey, no, fuck off. You need to figure out why they told you that. So you can then tweak and change your messaging, change your offer, change what you say, change your tonality to make sure that you are learning and adapting from what people tell you. Right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. If 100 people tell us no, what's to say the 100th one person wants to tell us yes if there's good reason for them to say no? Okay, just I want to make that very clear, because sometimes you just need to go through 100 no's to get the 100th and one yes. Alrighty, cool. Now, here's what I want to do is I'm going to promise you right now, if you've got here, well, congratulations, but like this is going to get boring, like the video included, but like this part of business gets boring. And there's a quote from Alex Hormozi which goes something along the lines of like, something becomes good long after it gets boring. Yeah, something becomes good and works long after it got boring, which basically reaffirmed in my mind that like good things take time, and if it's boring, you're on the right track. That's it, right? If you think of like fundamentally becoming a bodybuilder, going to the gym every single day, doing the same exercise, eating the same fucking food is really boring. But after doing that for years and years and years, then you get a good physique, right? The good things come long after the things get boring. So if something has gotten boring, you're probably on the right track, alrighty? So, disclaimer, this part will get boring and you will think like you are not doing anything, but I promise you are. You're just putting the reps in. So, I'm going to constantly tweak my messaging based on feedback, and I'm going to continue to only focus on calls, aka appointment setting, okay, Saka, appointment setting, until I either average 5 appointments per day, okay, on my calendar, or have closed 5+ clients. Because if you've done either or, you're on a good track to move on to the next level. Now, here's the funny thing, is even once I've done that, I'm only going to focus on Saka, which is setting and closing appointments until I have over 10 clients closed, okay? There's a thing in science which is called referenceable data sets, or something called statistical significance, which basically says that in science, if something does not have 100 sets of data, it does not have statistical significance, which means it's invalid. It doesn't matter. The data you conclude from that doesn't matter at all. So what does that mean? Well, that means in theory, if you have less than 100 clients, you can't say your service delivery is good nor bad, nor can you even start really working on it because you don't have enough data to go off of. So in theory, you need to sign 100 clients before you can look at your service delivery and go, this was good, this was bad, let me tweak this. Which means we have a long ways to go before we can start like saying, oh, this is good, this is bad, etc. Alrighty? So, things are going to get boring here because you're only going to focus on setting and closing appointments. And delivery doesn't matter because, truth be told, the first iPhone wasn't the best. Neither was the second, the first, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, the 10th, etc. We're on like, what, the 15th now? And it probably still won't be the best. It's going to constantly get better. Why? Initial customers' feedback. Iteration, action, feedback, iteration. It's a feedback loop I love, which is just action, feedback, iteration. Action, feedback, iteration. But if you try and start with feedback and iteration without any action, you don't have anything to iterate and feedback on. Which what people do is they try and make something based off of their own mind and not what people told them to do. Right? The best products in the world weren't made by the people. Let me put it this way. They weren't made by the producer. They were made by the people. Right? The iPhone, Steve Jobs, they came up with the idea, but it wasn't made good by Steve Jobs. It was made good by us users giving him feedback on what was good, what was bad, etc. And then they iterated on that and made it better. So the people who really made it good were the customers, were the users. That's what makes a platform good, right? Which is why the best platforms have the most users, because they have the most feedback. Like Google. Google's so amazing, saves so much feedback from us users. Get it? Okay, cool. So action, feedback, iteration. Action, feedback, iteration. Implant that in your head somewhere. And it all starts with action. You can't start with feedback, iteration. You have to start with action first. Anyways, let's keep going. So I'm going to keep focusing on the clients, okay? Because there's no point trying to like focus on your service delivery when you have 2 clients. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm bad at service delivery. It's like, yes, of course. If you went to go play tennis 2 times, you wouldn't be a pro either. So why do you think if 2 clients, you're going to become the best service delivery guy in the world? You're not. Right? And that's a false belief that people hold. And of course, we want to be good, and we want to do right by our clients, right, and give them good results. But you're actually you're kicking yourself in the foot if you're trying to get good results and just having 1 or 2 clients. Right? Think about it this way: would you learn more if you had 10 clients or 1 client? Well, probably 10. Cool. So if you learn more faster with 10 clients, wouldn't it be better to have 10 clients because you could learn more faster and then apply all those things to all the other clients? Probably. So actually, if you're bad at service delivery, the best way to get better is by signing more clients, because you get more data and you get more feedback, which means you can tweak everybody's ads and whatever you're doing, their services quicker, which means you can get them all results faster. Crazy, right? Cool. So then once you started servicing some clients, you're going to start to get some feedback, right? You're going to ask them for feedback. Like, hey, what could I tweak? What's good? What's bad? And you're also going to notice and observe. right? You're just going to observe, ask, listen, whatever. Okay, you're going to start asking for feedback. Now, once you've asked for feedback and they've told you feedback, you're now going to tweak your service based on the feedback and the data that you got to get better results. So if your client said, hey, we're getting a 0% show up rate, tweak it, fix it, find a way to fix it. Let's say your clients are saying, man, it's taking us way too long to call leads, fix it. Let's say your clients are saying, we can't close, we need a new script, make a new script, right? You start getting feedback from your customers and you start tweaking your delivery based on that to get them better results. Now, what happens is once you start getting them better results, you feel more confident, which means you close better, which means your marketing becomes better because now you have more social proof, you have more stats, et cetera, right? Which means you get more appointments. And since you're better at closing because you have more conviction, you close more deals, which means you get more clients, which means you make more money. And then the loop goes on and on and on and on and on, which is this endless cycle of just like action, feedback, iteration. And you have more clients, now you get even more feedback, and then you make your service even better. Right? And that's how the biggest companies are so big, is because they've done this cycle so many times that their product has gotten so good that people just keep buying, like Apple. Alrighty. Anyways, once you've done this, you now probably have a good amount of clients. I recommend that you start to hire team members to start to help you out on low leverage tasks. Do not, for the love of your life, do not hire out the high leverage things. For example, sales. Sales is the last thing you should delegate because it's the most important thing. It's talking to your prospects to turn them into customers. That's one of the most important things in a business. So that's like the last thing you should delegate. And nobody in theory should ever sell as good as you because you are the owner of your business. You know everything. You have that like imagine if you hopped on a sales call with a CEO instead of a sales rep. Even if the CEO sucked at sales, they probably have a higher closing percent just due to the frame and the knowledge that they have. Okay, so you'll never be as good at selling as anybody else, or you'll be better, I guess I should say. And that's also because you just care way more. When you care more about your product, when you care more about your customers feel that, and it's a lot easier to close. Okay, so leverage out low leverage things, right? Like scraping leads, like servicing clients, etc. Right? Like granted, servicing clients is still a pretty high leverage thing, but in the beginning when we're just trying to get data, it can be a bit low leverage. Alrighty. Then you're going to ask your clients for referrals. Now, why have I put this in here? It's because a lot of people forget about this. And the easiest way to get new clients is just to ask people that you've already worked for, like, hey, do you have anyone else I can do this for? People heavily underestimate this, and it's the easiest way to get a couple extra clients right away that cost you no money, no time. Alrighty? Now, once you've done all this, the last 3 things you're going to do is you're going to create a new offer based on the results generated. Right? And if you did a free trial, you're going to start doing paid this time. You're going to create new offers based on the feedback and based on the data and the stuff you've done. Right? So let's say if you average let's say you now can guarantee 100K. Well, now you're going to make a new offer that guarantees somebody 100K, right? And let's say you have new deliverables because people told you that they needed this, this, and this. And you added new stuff to your service. You're going to make a new offer which encapsulates everything you've done lately, if that kind of makes sense. You're going to tweak your offer because, once again, in the beginning, we only had our MVO, or minimal viable offer. But later, we want to make a better, more improved offer. Alrighty? Then, it's very simple. What I would do is I would just go back to marketing my new offer and then rinse and repeat this entire thing of just set more appointments, close more appointments, serve more clients. That's it. And yes, it's boring, but the boring stuff works. And that's why most people aren't willing to do it, because it's boring. Which is why if you got to the end of this video, you're probably one of a very few percentage of people that made it to the end, because things get boring. But remember that things get good long after they get boring. So if something is boring, you're on the right track. Alrighty? So that being said, if I were to start a new agency today, step by freaking step, this is exactly what I would do. Now, once again, if you want this checklist and if you want free calls with me, a bunch of all of my SOPs and trainings and courses I've ever made in my entire life, along with a bunch of other cool masterclasses and free stuff that you can have for free, join my free school community, if you want more help from me and more calls from me, and you want to join a closer knit group of guys who are all trying to make a bunch of money online together, so in 5 years from now we can go fly around the world, travel together, buy startups and start new companies together, then you can join my inner circle, which is paid. But if you don't want to pay, it's good. There's a bunch of free stuff that you can have for free as well. Hope you enjoyed. That's exactly what I would do if I were to start a new agency today, and how to scale it to 10K in the next 100 days. Peace.